He said, so I finished the New Testament, and he said, that's amazing. The way he was telling it is so funny with you. Somebody who has actually read it and is interested in reading it, all of the things that they find, that they discover, he's like, this is the greatest. It's such a great story. Why are we hiding this? And then he started on the Old Testament, and he is in Leviticus now, which is oh so fun. But he's actually enjoying it. In talking to him over a few days, I just want you to know, God is using him. There is something different about Tucker Carlson. And it, you know, we were not the best of friends 10 years ago. We didn't really know each other. We respected each other for what we had done, but we disagreed on a lot of stuff. And vehemently 10 years ago. Tucker is doing, I think. He gets it, unlike, let's say I met with 4 people in the last 3 weeks, and I've met probably 15,000 people, and I've met with 4 that I think absolutely 100% get it. They know it from all of its angles. Tucker is one of them. He was very, very clear on things when he was asking, I think it was Nikki Haley, he said, hey, did we blow up the Nord Stream? That's something I would ask. But I wondered, as he asked it, if I were Nikki Haley, if I would answer that as a presidential candidate, just because of the ramifications of that as a presidential candidate. So I asked Tucker on this. Here's what he said in our one-on-one interview. Got one. You said something that I absolutely believe, and it is crazy to say it now. I think we absolutely blew up the Nord Stream pipeline.
Well, of course we did.
Yeah, absolutely did.
Well, yeah, and I think it's a big deal. I mean, on many levels, it was an environmental catastrophe. I mean, like a profound environmental catastrophe. It was also an act of vandalism, which I'm against. You should build things, not destroy them.
Yeah.
It was also an attack on infrastructure, and more than anything, it was an attack on our closest NATO ally, Germany, which used that pipeline to fund its entire manufacturing center. We just attacked our ally.
I know.
This is insane behavior, and I don't know why no one's been held accountable. Yes, we did it, whether it was through Poland or Norway. A NATO nation did it with our assistance and approval, and like everyone knows it, and everyone's afraid to say so. Why? I don't know why.
Can you say that?
Well, I just did.
Well, no, but I mean,
I'm unemployed. I can do whatever I want.
I mean, what are the ramifications of? Thank God that Russia has not retaliated. This is the biggest. This is the worst act of war I have ever seen us make. Right? So,
and it's crazy. It's the kind of like late-stage hubris on display with people.
All of it.
It really is. Like, I'm God. I can do whatever I want. There are no consequences. The rules don't apply to me. And when you adopt that attitude, when there's no humility at all or long-term thinking, this is, people like a stake in the future, like 80-year-old presidents, they just don't care. And when they start to behave like that, you can actually wreck the whole thing. You can take a country down doing stuff like that, in my opinion.
I talked to him about the media, completely determined to suppress the truth. Listen. And I really thought, Tucker, and I don't know if there was a turning point with you. There was with me when I realized, oh my gosh, none of these people in the media actually care or are intellectually curious at all. They're just typing away, doing their thing, reading a prompter. Nobody is actually, because I really thought if I could make the case, which you did every night, you were making a great, solid case. And if you are intellectually curious and you disagree, you go, well, that can't be right. Let me look it up. Let's do some investigative work on what he just said. They don't do that. And that shocked me. Shocked me.
But then you have to wonder why. So it's like, no one in Washington or in the media is ever triggered, is ever outraged by a lie. So I can come out here and tell the most preposterous lies, say the most lunatic things. You know, climate, you're driving a Suburban is causing more hurricanes in Florida. Well, they say that every fall.
Right.
And it's like insane. There's no evidence that that's true. There's a ton that's evidence that's not true. Nobody cares. But when you say something true,
yeah,
that's actually true,
right,
completely true, people become hysterical and call for your murder, and certainly call for your deplatforming. So then, well, what conclusion do you reach? The media are completely determined to suppress the truth things that matter. That's kind of why they exist. They are the gatekeepers that prevent people from saying out loud the truest things.
Cut 3, here's Tucker on what he saw at the summit and the candidates that I found surprising. When you got up this morning, did you imagine that you would see not one, but 2 presidential candidates light themselves on fire in front of you?
When I get up this morning, as every morning when I wake up, I don't imagine anything.
Right.
I haven't had a drink in 21 years, and every single morning I wake up hungover. I feel like I've had a quart of Stoli and a 6-pack of some rotten beer. I just feel horrible every morning. And so I put my pants on, I shuffled downstairs and got coffee. And so I didn't think about it at all until I was seated across from Senator Scott, who was the first. And I really like, I like them all. Like, politicians are super charming. Like, they're good with people. That's why they're in this business. So I like all of them. But no, I do think that Republican voters, or the system controlled by the Republican Party, doesn't ask a lot of its candidates. It's like enough to repeat certain bumper stickers from the 80s, peace through strength, lower taxes, whatever.
Right.
I'm for all that, by the way. But they don't, like, no one ever gets pushed very hard.
Right.
And so it doesn't take much. I was certainly not acting out of hostility, but if you're just like, well, what do you mean? Answer the question. And then everyone's like, oh, you're so mean. Really? You're trying to run my country.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I live here. I have 4 children. I can't go anywhere. Like, what do you mean? You're trying to run the country, and you're mad that I'm, like, trying to get you to be more precise about your answers that you should have memorized already?
Right.
Because you're presuming to represent me?
Last cut. This is Tucker in my special on Blaze TV. You can watch it. It's about, I think it's just over an hour. Tucker and I just having a one-on-one. He went on to talk about Mike Pence, what he was most surprised about with Mike Pence. Listen to this.
The Mike Pence religious freedom stuff, I have to say, spun me up. It did. You can't be like, well, I'm for religious freedom, except for, like, priests who say things the government disagrees with, they can be arrested. Huh? And it'd be fine if it was almost any, and I'm holding him to an unfair standard, but if you hold yourself up as a Christian leader who's in favor of religious freedom, well, then you kind of have to defend religious freedom, whether it's popular or not.
It's not, no freedom. Nobody has to defend my right to say, chocolate's delicious.
Yeah.
Okay? If it's popular, you have to, and I don't think even our side understands that. I was, when Bill Maher said, I think the Saudi, or the hijackers were braver than our fighter pilots. I disagreed with that 100% too. But when ABC fired him, I stood up for him and said, what part of politically incorrect don't you understand? Make sure you go to blazemediasummit.com. blazemediasummit.com. You can see the whole summit. It is so well worth it when you're if you're looking for the right candidate. I think this is the best format I've ever seen, and I've heard that everywhere, including social media. and in person. Everybody was like, I've been to these things before. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Ricky said, would you please not be a grump? She's my executive television producer. She said, would you please not be a total grump, when you get on the air? And I'm like, no, I just want you to know I don't want to be here. This is the last place anyone should want to be on a Friday, spending all day with a bunch of politicians listening to them campaign, but I'm a professional. But I actually, by the end of the day, had really enjoyed it because I learned so much. Make sure you go to blazemediasummit.com and watch it. And Blaze TV also has the Tucker Carlson interview with me. You can join now. Just use the promo code SUMMIT and get $30 off. Summit or will not be silenced as well. You get $30 off. Try them both. Maybe get $60 off. Our sponsor this half hour is American Financing.
American Financing, NMLS 182334, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org.
Now, no matter how many times you try to wish away your bills on your journey to the mailbox, the credit card statement just keeps showing up. The frustrating cycle of high interest debt piling up and you not being able to pay all of it is really frustrating. I know, I have been there. This is the kind of thing that American Finances specializes in, helping people just like you get out from under the high interest debts and find freedom. American Financing is a family-owned mortgage company that's in it for you, and they're saving people just like you an average of $700 a month. So please, let them do a free mortgage review for you today, and they can show you all the ways you could be saving and how much you could be saving. If you get a mortgage refi, for instance, you could consolidate that credit card debt into something low interest. Plus, you could end up being able to delay up to 2 mortgage payments and close in as little as 10 days. The call is free. Start your journey towards financial independence today with American Financing.
Or people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an...
That was 24,000.
Y como se puede comprobar en sus redes sociales.
Marketing and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's an American.
little too late. Fuck off. Yeah. 250? 250.
Are saying it's about time. A little something for the more mature audience. ABC is spinning off The Bachelor, and they have a man who is 71 years old looking for love. Oh, this is going to be fun. It's called The Golden Bachelor, and it's going to be premiering this fall.
Jack makes good whiskey. Red dirt makes good riding roads. Country makes good music. For kicking up dust in a tail like glove. Dry wood makes good fires. Good years make good swings. All that's all good, but for me, God makes 5'9" brown eyes and a sundress. Loves him McGraw and a small town accent. Ain't no way to be in this truck made her fall in love. Jack makes good whiskey, but God makes the good stuff. Oh.
Southern New England's country for the summer of 2023. Cat Country 98.1.